Hey everyone. So in the last video we talked about our app. Actually, we demoed it. And if you haven't checked the article, this is the accompanying article that goes with that demo. So in our demo we found actually quite a number of bugs, and this is an example of one. And you can see here that there is this light sky blue that is supposed to be our sign up button. And if you see in our iPad here, that sign up button we have changed to just a sign up button. So we decided to change that sign up text to a button that actually shows up. The login button still doesn't work because, again, that's a whole nother tutorial. But let's take a look at the code. So you could see that there are several files that I changed. If you look at the source container login, if you do a diff, this is all I changed. I took that text and added a styling to it, and I took the button, I removed that info, and then I replaced the style with actual styles. So that's all I changed over here. If you look over here in our file, that's pretty much all that happened. Of course, we need to add the new styles. So if we go ahead and do a diff of the styles and the user styles, you can see that I've really just added the two symbols or variables for login sign up transparent and login sign up transparent text style. So that's all we did in styles. So going back to our article here, we could see that the next problem we have is this drawer, and the problem here is the icons aren't showing up. So as you may wonder, the icons now show up over here in our iPad, and the change here is you go over to our routers, and actually we were defining the containers wrong. So let's go back and take a look at what we changed. So we want to do a diff of the router, so let's do git diff source router. So what I did is I changed that login container into just login, and then I replaced that class login, as you see here, with const login container, and that pretty much looks exactly like profile container using the create stack navigator. I kept this pretty much the same with the navigation options here. We're using MD login, which gives us the symbol over here, and the drawer label stays as login, so that basically stays the same. And we just put in this login screen login over here, and that's pretty much that. There were some more changes though. We changed this, or this thing here, the profile, from profile to profile container. So you can see that this now is actually called profile container. It wasn't called that before, so that's probably why the icons wasn't showing up. So that's pretty much that. And last but not least, we're going to talk about our profiles. So let's go down here and see what was wrong with our profiles. First of all, we had this sky blue button. We removed that. So if we go over to the profile, you can see we removed that. And the other things that weren't working were the gender selection wasn't working, the ethnicity selection wasn't working, the dance goals selection isn't working. So there's quite a lot of changes over there. So let's go over to our profile and take a look at what we changed. Let's do git diff or source. What is this? Source container user profile. So you can see that we added several other handlers on social change, on performance change, on competition change, and on training change. And these are all for the checkboxes. And you can see that why the gender and the ethnicity wasn't working was that the selected value, the state that we were using, was actually wrong. It was body type for both of them when we were supposed to use gender for gender and ethnic for ethnicity. And you can see that I've actually added these on press functions to use our handlers should they be clicked, and we remove that cancel button, that little sky blue button, to to not show that anymore. So if I go back over to our app, we should be able to actually make selections. So that gender is working, the body type is working, the ethnicity is working, drinking is working, smoking is working, relationship status is working, and we can click these checkboxes to select them or not. So that's pretty much it for today's video. We were just going through the fixes for our demo that we found in the last video. So it wasn't hard. It was pretty simple. If you could do it yourself, if you discovered what was wrong for it, then good job, because that's all part of debugging. So anyway, at this rate, please rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Join our mailing list if you haven't already, to get files and assets that you may need if you're following this tutorial series. Other than that, again, please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.